Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing Paper 6 European and Non-European Writing Part 1 BA Optional English Semester 5 Session 19. Section B Short Fiction. Today we are discussing Franz Kafka's The Hunger Artist. Let us know about Kafka. Born on July 3rd, 1883 in Prague, the capital of Bohemia, a kingdom that was a part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Now it is called as Czechoslovakia. Kafka had a difficult relationship with both of his parents. Throughout his life, Kafka struggled to come to terms with his domineering father. Kafka obtained the degree of Doctor of Law on June 18, 1906, and performed an obligatory year of unpaid service as law clerk for the civil and criminal courts. He never married but had several girlfriends. Anxiety about his body and sex life, plagued by guilt, shame, and anxiety, died of starvation due to tuberculosis. His works. Kafka's literary work includes short stories and many fragments thereof, 3 unfinished novels, diaries, and correspondence. Kafka was only satisfied with a few works of his to the extent that he would agree to having them published. He only published at the insistence of his friends, and even this was not very frequent. He buried many manuscripts before his death and demanded that all that he could not destroy himself would be destroyed on his behalf. It was Max Brod, Kafka's friend, who facilitated the posthumous publication of his works. He is famous for his novel The Trial, in which a man is charged with a crime that is never named, and The Metamorphosis, in which the protagonist wakes to find himself transformed into an insect. We should know the term Kafkaesque before reading any of Kafka's works. It refers to the style with which he wrote his books. Basically, it describes a nightmarish situation which most people can somehow relate to, although strongly surreal, with an eternal evil, omnipotent power floating just beyond the senses. A situation in which an individual is at the mercy of a comically absurd logic, but that doesn't understand. The term Kafkaesque has become a part of 20th century vocabulary as a term for the absurd and incomprehensible entanglements of everyday life. He has a unique capacity to turn dreamlike, often nightmarish events into symbolic, often bizarre narratives which expresses not only his own anxieties but those of an entire age. The idea of alienation and the absurd, the human longing for the infinite in the face of spiritual doubt, have no more brilliant spokesman than Kafka. Kafka's work has been an enormous influence on later writers like Samuel Beckett, Harold Pinter. The present story, what we are reading, A Hunger Artist, is a brief but striking parable of alienation which was written in February 1922. He had just referred to Prague after a 4 week vacation prescribed by his doctor as a sort of shock treatment to arrest his advancing tuberculosis and deepening depression. In a letter to a friend, Kafka describes his attempt to write to calm his nerves. I have lately begun to write a little. From about 7 at night, I sit at my desk, but it doesn't amount to much. It's like trying to dig a foxhole with one's fingernails in the midst of battle. A Hunger Artist was among a few works Kafka allowed to be published in his lifetime.